Several years ago, I was involved in a show called The Takedown. In that TV show, we went into casinos or secure environments, stole things, or cheated security. But how were we treated by management? How did that work? So we would go to the manager or the owner of a casino. We would make a proposal that we wanted to go in, perform these scams, and then explain to their people exactly what we did and how we did it. But during the con itself, they would not know exactly what was going on. They would have to try to figure it out in order to catch us. The first time we went in anywhere, of course, it was relatively easy. They wouldn't know exactly who was who. They wouldn't be fully aware on the floor exactly what was going on. But in other shows, we would be in the same casino, and now everybody knew who we were. So we created a kind of a war game situation. These guys are here and they're trying to do something, but you have to know exactly what it is before you move on them, which means if they didn't figure it out, we got to walk away with the money. Very simple rules, right? Unfortunately, it got really complicated because not every casino was the same. And most of the time with the casino scams that we did, it could be pretty hairy. And I'll explain one of the situations. One of the very first ones that we did was a scam where we cheated by switching all 5 dice on a craps table. An absolutely ridiculous and unnecessary move. But we wanted to prove a point, and TV producers being what TV producers are, they insisted on us going for the big switch rather than the small switch. We got into several problems with that particular show. First of all, we had been guaranteed that nobody on the floor would know that we were coming there to cheat, that it would apparently be to the people working at the tables and around the tables. It would apparently be a promotional video being shot for a wedding company or something like that. And that we would be playing around the table for a couple of hours while they shot around with other cameras for this promotional video. That's the story that they were supposed to tell. But we figured out really early on that everybody knew we were coming to cheat. In fact, the way we figured that out is that one of our guys, Michael, crossed over to the casino, and while he was scouting the environment before we went over there, he happened to be chatting to a lady who was cleaning the slot machines, and she told him, oh yeah, there's some people coming in with TV. They're going to try and cheat the craps table. So what do we do? Well, to me, I felt that was unfair, so I decided to cheat back. I insisted on meeting the owner of the casino to get a photograph to absolutely prove that the dice we were using, he knew were going to be used for a TV show, so I couldn't get arrested. He brought the dice over from the casino. We took a photograph, we opened it up so we could see the numbers. And during that process, Damien, who was one of the producers on the show, a very good friend and the director of the movie Shade, Damien distracted him for a second while I switched all 5 dice in that hotel room and nobody was watching. So when he wrapped those up, he was wrapping it up for duplicates with concealed magnets inside. And he took those and put them on the table. Nobody knew at that point that they had already been switched. And as soon as we started playing, we had a giant magnet inside a coffee cup, which is another story for another day. That was moving around and influencing the dice, and we were hitting these field bets like crazy. So how did we do it? Well, they figured it out. We had already switched the dice. I, of course, had to switch them back out again in order to clean up the table. And when I did that, they immediately grabbed me because they were looking for it. They were looking for everything. Not everybody was fully aware of what was going on. And the security guy that I got walked me to the back step, and he and I are on our own. We're in a back area of the casino going down to the security room, and there are no cameras. So at that point, he lifts me up. Now remember, I'm handcuffed behind my back. He lifts me up by my elbow and he's about to march me down those stairs really fast, so I might actually fall down the stairs. I'm not saying that security have done that in the past, but these things happen. I look at him and I say, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Because I know there's a camera crew down there waiting to record the whole thing. He, on the other hand, thought I was some kind of kung fu master because I seemed so confident of myself in that situation. Remember, the guy was enormous, huge, lifting me up by his elbow, and I look at him and I say, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I was terrified. Terrified. But he lowered me down, walked me down the steps, and he was as surprised as anybody when he walked in and saw all the camera crew waiting. But once they knew that we were sincerely trying to show them how these things worked and illustrate to the people at home how they worked, they were very quickly on our side. The problem is we would then move to another casino and the whole thing would start again. So how did security treat us? They treated us like real cheaters. And that's not a good place to be.